Say hi. Come here.
What up, webheads? It's your boy, DeMarco.
And me, Steven.
And Steven. Welcome to our
your brother co-host.
Welcome to our podcast event. Number 1 Marvel podcast event show in the world.
In the world, the number 1 Marvel podcast, the best podcast you've ever heard. Basically, a too long didn't read of all of your favorite comic events.
Is that what that stands for?
TLDR?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I swear, I always see that and I'm like, what the hell does that stand for? Man. And I always tell myself when I see it, I'm like, I should look that up. And I never do.
Yeah. That's basically what this podcast is. It's a too long, a too long didn't read.
Wow.
Of all of every Marvel event from 1939 to present.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into it.
All right, let's do it.
Hello.
Alright, so if you guys can hear, I'm sure you can. It is another Bring Your Daughter to Work day, and she wants to be a part of it. So here she is. And
Hi, Zara.
I can't get her to. So what have you been up to?
Man, I've been playing some Pokemon.
Pokemon Legends?
Yeah, I haven't really had a chance to play too much because prior reading, doing my courses, work.
Yeah.
I've gotten to the point now where I just beat Cleaver.
Okay. So I'm not too far ahead of you then.
And
Zara.
I think that's it. I've been trying not to on TikTok I keep getting a lot of oh, here's how you do this or here's where you catch this. So I'm trying not to watch too many of those.
I haven't watched any of them. They pop up on mine too.
Yeah, I was trying not to see any of the regional variants or the new Pokemon, just because I wanted to see it myself for the first time, but not happening. But yeah, I just want to play now and just kind of get back into it.
Yeah, I kind of hope that they leave this how we catch Pokemon. Yeah, I hope they kind of bring these back and bring it back like this in other games. It's fun.
Yeah,
I like sneaking up on Pokemon and trying to catch them.
Or at least the mechanic that they did, that part, and also the Pokédex part where you catch 5 of these, or because at least with that it gives me a reason to keep catching the same Pokemon.
Yeah.
Before I was like, why do I need 2 Pikachus?
Yeah, I don't need
or something?
6 Pidgeys and stuff.
Yeah. So it was just mainly just me going through catching one of that Pokemon and then on to the next place, And at least with this one, I like that mechanic of just catching them, from behind or, battling them or anything like that.
Yeah, there's these, I forgot what they're called, these events where, this guy...
I forgot what they're called, too.
Those things are scary. I was scared for my life in that thing. I got jumped by, 3 Pokemon, and I didn't realize that the Pokemon, if, 2 or more of them run up on you, they'll all battle you.
So you're battling 3 different Pokemon at once?
Yeah, but you can only fight one of them at a time. So it's you make your move, and then that one makes their move, the next one makes their move, the third one makes their move, and then you get yours again if you're still, okay to battle.
Yeah.
I got jumped by, a Haunter and, 2 other Pokemon. I forgot what they were. But I was running as soon as I got away from that fight. I was running for my life. I was scared. I couldn't. I caught 1 Pokemon and I got out of there.
Yeah, I hope a lot of this sticks with. I hope from going forward this sticks as like the new way Pokemon is.
Yeah.
I mean, if they want to include the gym battle still and that mechanic,
Yeah, that part I'm fine.
but yeah, give me more reason to kind of go back to other places and catch other Pokemon and more task other than just complete the story and do this little mission for this person and then they give you like a rare candy or something.
Yeah.
Like I want more like that. Yeah, I like the game so far.
Yeah, and it makes it so you don't have to you don't feel like you're rushing through it.
Yeah.
Like there's like the 1, 2, 3-star recruit kind of things that you're trying to work towards.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I don't know how long I've been playing for, like 2 weeks now, and I'm only like a 2-star recruit because like the side missions make it like so you're not just doing like that main story, and yeah, I don't feel like I'm rushing through it at all.
Yeah. I feel like you can just go out and catch Pokemon and the one thing that I have been seeing a lot of is like I want to try doing that just because now you hear the sound when the shiny pops up and those the distortion events, is that what they're called?
Yeah.
Yeah, with those there's like a whole sequence of things you can do to where you can I guess reload those to see if a shiny Pokemon does pop up, and then that way you can save before you actually battle the shiny Pokemon. So if you kill it or something, you can just reload the game and then it'll be there.
I got a shiny Ponyta.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Lucky.
Yeah, it's cool. It has like blue flames.
Yeah. I want to catch something shiny. In Sword and Shield, I caught 2 shinies just like on my own. And that's the most shinies I've ever caught in any mainline Pokemon game.
I got excited because I thought I caught a shiny Burmy, and then I didn't realize that there's just like 3 different kinds. And I was online trying to figure out what the shiny Burmy looks like, and I was like, oh, okay, no, that's not it.
But yeah,
I
haven't had a chance to play so far, but I want to get into it this week because I'm going to be by myself all week. So.
Oh, Danny's going out of town again?
Yeah, she's going to Arizona. Cuddy with her.
Oh, nice.
So
she's driving?
Yep.
This week, we got a little story called The Korvac Saga.
Ooh.
This is a story that... this is a story about the man on the moon.
Is his name Michael Korvac?
Yeah. This is a story involving the Avengers and most of the original team of the Guardians of the Galaxy. For those of you who don't know, the Guardians of the Galaxy in the comic books historically have not always been Star-Lord, Gamora, Drax, Rocket, and Groot. They actually change out pretty frequently as they've gone along. And the original team of the Guardians was... So we have a guy named Major Victory, a.k.a. Vance Astro. A woman named Aleda. This guy, Charlie 27. Martin X. Nikki. Starhawk. And a name that most of you guys might know if you've seen the movies, Yondu.
And then if you guys have actually seen the movies, at the end of the second one, most of those characters actually do make an appearance.
Yeah.
I think they're all the other captains of the Ravager ships.
I think...
most of them, I think.
Starhawk, his character is, in the movies...
Sylvester Stallone.
Sylvester Stallone. That's the team that of that team, we're only not going to see Aleda because she has passed before this story came around in a tragic event. I don't need to give you guys much of a pass on the Avengers. Like we've heard Captain America lately he was running around with Sam and then he was going to save Sam. We don't see the Hulk here. We see the usual Avengers squad, Wanda, Vision. For some reason, I'm still not ever going to understand why Beast is on this team. He's literally no help ever.
Yeah, for each time I've seen him, he really he seems more like the annoying teenager.
Yeah. And he just bounces everywhere.
Yeah.
Get out of here. He doesn't do anything to help. Who else we got? We got a Hawkeye appearance here. We got a guy named Two Gun. You ever heard of him?
I think so.
Yeah. He's basically an old Western type guy who was brought in from the past. Yeah. So we got somebody, in this story, we got somebody that was brought in from the past, and we got people from the future.
Ooh.
Because I don't need to give you guys a full rundown on the Avengers squad. We all know them, Black Panther, all those guys. I figured I'd give you guys a little bit on this team of. So, in an alternate timeline of the 31st century, the Guardians of the Galaxy acted as protectors of the Milky Way. The group formed in response to the Badoon invasion of 3007. Which decimated Pluto, Mercury, Jupiter, and Earth. The Guardians defeated the Badoon by 3015, and then they became adventurers.
The Badoon are like those bug-looking creatures, right?
Mm-hmm. Alien type things.
Yeah.
After beating the Badoon in 3015, they ended up traveling to Earth's current reality numerous times, and then becoming honorary members of the Avengers.
That's so confusing. So they're from an alternate 31st century.
Yeah, they're from Earth 691.
And they came to ours.
They came to our, was 616 Earth to try to save the galaxy.
Guardians in the Lost Galaxy.
Originally, the first book, there was 4 Guardians on the team. Each representing the last survivors of their kind from different planets. And so Vance Astro was the last survivor of Earth. Charlie 27 was the last Jupiter survivor. Martin X was from Pluto. And Yondu was from Centauri 4. And then later on is when they were joined by Starhawk. They were joined by Starhawk's wife, which was Aleda, who died before the story starts. And Nikki, who is from Mercury. So leading up to the story, this team of Guardians had some adventures with Captain America after his shield was stolen and taken to the future. Vance Astro also convinced his younger self to follow a different path, leading to his mainstream version, the 616 version. Instead of Vance Astro convinced the 616 version of himself, the younger version, to take a different path, which led him to become Marvel Boy. And they've had other teammates as the whole iteration has gone through. We've seen the ones from the movies. Wonder Man has actually been a part of the team. Who else? Talon. I don't know if you know her. She's a cat type, cat looking creature. We've had Skrulls on the team. Yellow Jacket 2 has been on the team, and former Herald of Galactus Firelord.
I think as most recently too, I think Dr. Doom has been a member of the Guardians as well.
Yeah, Captain Marvel, and
Iron Man.
Yeah, they've had that team has switched up so many times.
Yeah,
if you guys look that up, it's literally every couple of years there's new members. Whole new teams.
Yeah.
It's nuts. So, and just so you guys have a quick rundown of this Guardians team's powers real quick. Major Victory, Vance Astro. He has psychokinesis and mental force blasts. Charlie 27 has enhanced strength and stamina. So he's just this big, muscular, monster looking. He looks like a human, but.
Where is he from? Jupiter?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think if I remember correctly, it's because Jupiter has stronger gravity, so they were bred to be able to withstand the gravity that's there.
Yeah, he looks kind of tallish, kind of like Juggernaut a little bit, but he's stocky, he's wide.
Yeah, so off Jupiter, he's just super strong because his body's just built to withstand.
Yeah,
and maintain. Yeah,
Martin X also has enhanced strength and projection of heat and cold, which I didn't understand. It does, and I don't remember it coming up too much in the story, but he did use it once or twice.
I think I remember I probably looked it up because that sounds familiar, but it's like, I think it was like a TikTok. Someone said like why this power is like the coolest power you can have or something like that.
Yeah, so that's Martin X. Nikki has resistant to heat and bright light, and she's a sharpshooter.
She's resistant to heat and bright light.
One hell of a power, I guess. Starhawk, he has flight, enhanced strength, and energy projection. And Yondu is a skilled archer, and he has mystical sensory abilities. So, it's some of them use all of those powers, some of them only use one or two. But we'll get right into it. So we started with Avengers 167. Mm-hmm. So we're not too far off from, was that 2 weeks ago? Oh, Mad Bomb.
Oh, yeah.
So those were happening in the Captain America stories. The Private War of Doctor Doom was where we were hitting Avengers stories. Mm-hmm. And we're not, I think we're maybe less than 10 issues from where we were with the Private War of Doctor Doom.
Gotcha.
So yeah, we're starting with Avengers 167. We're starting in the early morning.
She drilling out there?
She must be. Early morning at the Avengers mansion. Wanda, Cap, Beast, and Vision, they're all woken up by a telecom call from Nick Fury. And he's like, hey, the SHIELD space station needs your help now. Like, we don't have hours, days. We need your help now. We need you guys up here. And then the I don't know how he does it, but the telecom video zooms out from his Nick Fury's face on the screen. It just zooms out, and now you can see the outside of the ship. And they see like this large, it doesn't look like a Death Star, but Death Star was the only thing that I could think of. It's just this big, huge, metallic looking ship that is slowly moving towards the SHIELD station. And
what do you think 6 people are going to do?
I don't know.
that your whole advanced technology super spy station can't.
Yeah, like they can't help you here. And spoiler alert, they don't help. But he says, hey, you guys need to get up here because that whatever that thing is going to crash into us. And we might have a few hours, maybe. So they say, okay, sure. Yeah, we'll be there in a few minutes. From Earth to space in a few minutes. We'll be there, yeah. And then we see Tony Stark on the space station with Nick Fury. And he says, I'd love to stay and see what the Avengers do, but I got to get home. So he just hops on the shuttle from the space station back to Earth. And I don't know if you or anybody else knows this at this point, but literally nobody knows that Tony Stark is Iron Man.
Oh, they're at this point still?
Yeah, nobody. Captain America, none of the Avengers, Nick Fury, nobody.
So you said Tony Stark was on the...
Tony Stark was on the spaceship with Nick Fury.
Okay, and so he's like, I gotta leave.
I gotta get out of here. I'd love to see what's happening, but can't watch. And so he hops in the shuttle, jets back to Earth, and the whole time between when Captain America got off the phone with Nick and now... Iron Man's shooting down there as fast as he can. All the Avengers are ready and waiting to go. And they're like, where the hell is Iron Man at? Where is he? And then finally he shows up at the Avengers mansion. And then Cap's like, where the hell were you? We tried calling you. We're like, what the hell's going on? Like, if like you're the leader of this team. And Iron Man was just like, hey, sorry. Like, I was just late.
Sorry, I was finishing school projects.
My dad was really on my ass this morning. Sorry.
That's so much extra effort.
Yeah.
It's almost like he's cheating.
Yeah. It's like and throughout this story, he struggles so much with like wanting to tell them that
he's definitely cheating.
Yeah. Tony, where the hell have you been?
I'm sorry, girl. I just had to work a little late today. You know how it is. That's all.
You know how it goes. And then Captain America's doing the same thing when Iron Man gets there. Iron Man, where the hell have you been? I tried calling you. It's Tuesday.
Tony left his suitcase on the SHIELD spaceship. He's like, "Fuck, I gotta go back." He goes there with the Avengers and he's trying to like sneak it with them.
Yeah. So in the story, or in the comics at this point, everybody in the world thinks that Iron Man is Tony Stark's bodyguard. So yeah, he races back so he can change and then meet up with the rest of the Avengers. We see Thor and Wonder Man having lunch together in the mansion when they get paged to assemble up with the rest of the team. They all arrive in time and hop on the Quinjet, and they head towards that spaceship that's going to crash into Nick pretty soon. By the time they reach up there, it's obviously not minutes because it takes some time to get up there. That spaceship is only about a half a mile away from Nick's ship at this point. So it's getting closer and closer. So it took them like...
hella close, it's like space-wise.
Yeah. Especially because he said that they had a few hours to go before it crashed into him, and now it's only about a half a mile away. You got maybe 15 minutes. If you guys can hear my daughter singing back there. So, yeah, they hop onto the S.H.I.E.L.D. spaceship, and Nick says, hey, you guys got to get over there. That thing's going to crash into us, like, in a couple minutes. So, get over there, fix the shit now. When they get inside...
You know what I was thinking of? When you said that, I was thinking of Bully Maguire. And I was just thinking of that line from Spider-Man. It was like, it doesn't seem like it's my job.
They flew all the way up there, and he's like, get over there, fix it, stop it now. I don't think that this is my problem, Nick.
And Tobey Maguire just swings away.
And also, Spider-Man is not really ever a part of these Avengers stories, which just kind of sucks. But yeah, so when they get into that, whatever that ship is, they decide that they're going to split up with each other. Cap goes with Wonder Man, Wanda, Vision, Thor, and Iron Man team up and go somewhere, and then they just leave Beast alone to figure out something. And then they have this nice little subplot in all of this where Captain America and Iron Man are really beefing with each other because Cap used to be the leader, and then they voted at one point that they wanted Iron Man to be the leader. But Iron Man, because he's living this dual life, he isn't doing a great job at it. So they just keep throwing like these sub shots at each other and not really saying things, and it's hilarious. What is it? Are they racing cars out there? What the hell? Grandma, I don't know what you gave that kid. We're gonna go out there and all the furniture is gonna be taken apart. So we see Beast is crawling through the vents because he's just by himself, and then when he comes out of one of the vents, he's snatched up and he's attacked by two people, and they beat him down pretty badly. But the fighting is quickly stopped on both sides by the Guardians of the Galaxy and the Avengers. The Avengers hear this commotion going on, and they run to it. They're like, "Hey, what the fuck? That's our boy. That's my blue-haired boy. Get off him." You shouldn't have left him. You shouldn't have brought him up there in the first place. Should have left him with Jarvis. And then once they realize what's going on, they both realize, oh, it's the Avengers, it's the Guardians. They start fanning out, giving each other hugs, and like, oh, I haven't seen you in so long. Oh, I've heard stories about you, all that stuff. So then Thor had already met them before. Like I said, Captain America went to the future recently because somebody stole the shield. He met them there as well. Thor was brought to the future by a man named Korvac in his time machine. And then while he was there, the Guardians saved his life. They fought side by side against Korvac. And then after sending Thor back into his time, the Guardians chased Korvac on their own for some time, only to continue to just miss him by it. Every time they found him somewhere, they would show up, and then by the time they got there, the man was already gone. Oh. And then we find out from the Guardians that Korvac's plan was to go back in time, because they're from the future. His plan is to go back in time and kill a young Vance Astro, the original Vance Astro, so that he never grows old, and then he never starts the Guardians of the Galaxy, which would be great for his plans. We cut to Janet Pym, who's a wasp. She's putting on a fashion show for her new clothing line. And then it gets interrupted by this villain named Porcupine. And luckily, Hank Pym is there, a guy named Nighthawk. I don't know if you know him.
Yeah.
Nighthawk is there as well. And they're in their civilian clothes watching the fashion show. And then, of course, All superheroes have their super suits under their regular clothes at all times.
Under their civvies.
Yeah, they gotta have. They must have multiple outfits, I would assume.
They have to.
Because otherwise, that's gotta stink. You're wearing that all the time.
Yeah.
You gotta be prepared for that stuff. I can never be a superhero.
You're wearing 2 layers all the time.
Yeah, you're
That's
so
uncomfortable.
All the time you're sweating. Because the one that you're wearing under is skin tight.
Yeah.
All the time. The only one who doesn't wear a super suit is Wonder Man. This man walks around in a coat and pants all the time.
He's got the right idea.
Yeah. And then at one point, Hank and Janet see him. And they say, oh, we haven't seen you in so long. And then Janet walks off. And then Hank is like, hey, you better put on a super suit or something. Because, like, fashion is her thing. She's going to make you a suit. He's like, I'm telling you right now, I'm not wearing a suit, buddy.
Not walking around like you bozos. You guys are wearing the damn American flag over there.
Listen, man, I just recently came back from death. You think I'm gonna wear something that I don't want to wear? I'm good. You see these jeans? These are Levi's, baby.
501.
I live my life in comfort. Get out of here.
You see these glasses I wear?
These are from Zenny. I paid $12 for these.
And guess what? Transition lenses. Block out the haters.
Use our code on Zenny Webheads and get 10% off.
So they message you and be like, hey, your code didn't work.
Block. Sorry. Block all accounts using this email, please. So, yeah, her fashion show gets ruined by Porcupine. And Hank and Nighthawk are there to help settle the whole thing. But in the midst of the chaos, a strange man is just standing there. All this fighting is going on around him. People are losing their mind. And there's this guy just standing there in the middle of everything. And he walks up to one of the models in the fashion show. He just puts his hand up. Just reaches for her hand. She grabs his hand, and then all of a sudden they just disappear. Just out of nowhere. Just disappear. So we go on to the next issue, number 168. And now we cut back to the Avengers on the Quinjet. And they're with the Guardians. The Guardians are going to come to Earth so they can find Korvac. But they have to leave Major Victory, Vance Astro, on the ship. Because their understanding is that if Vance goes to Earth, they can't have 2 Vance Astros on Earth. Because it's going to cause this basically a rip in the timeline. So he has to stay out there the whole time. The Quinjet finally reaches Avengers Mansion, and the alarm in the Avengers Mansion is going off like crazy. They go in there, Jarvis is nowhere to be found, and the elevator for some reason isn't working. And every room in the whole house has just been ransacked. Everybody's looking at each other confused. Finally, they find someone who's locked themselves in the meeting room, and they have Jarvis tied up. And then they find out that it's a special agent of national security. His name is Henry Peter Gyrick. And he says, you guys better get everyone in this building down to this meeting room now. I'm not joking with you. So he says, when they all get there, he's like, you guys have access to national security stuff. I broke in here by myself as a human. And I made it to every room and messed up your guys' stuff just to show you that I could.
Just walks in and cuts their bed, flips pillows over.
Literally, dressers were thrown on the ground. He even messed up their beds. And he was like, I did that as a normal person.
When you started telling me this story, and you mentioned how Cap and Tony were kind of like throwing shots at each other.
Yeah.
I was like, this is like a teen drama. And now this guy's treating them like teenagers.
Yeah.
You guys want to clean your room? Well, guess what? Now you gotta clean the whole house.
You want access to government secrets?
You gotta show me some responsibility.
I don't know. We're gonna have to. So yeah, basically that's what happens. So he's like, if like we're gonna have to reconsider you guys having like all these clearances and access to all this stuff because you guys clearly aren't taking it seriously. And then Jarvis, he leaves. Jarvis apologizes. Iron Man's like, no, don't worry about it. Stuff like this happens. And then Cap immediately gets pissed off. He's like, shit like this doesn't just happen. Like, you're the leader here. And he's like, you're the worst leader this team has ever seen. And then they start fighting. And then Cap's like, listen, man, it's very clear that the Avengers are not your priority right now. It's very clear that that's the case. We're second on your list. Tony Stark is your first priority. It's clear. They start fighting again. Wanda steps in and says, hey, you guys got to chill out. I'm tired of this. You guys been going back and forth like kids for weeks now. She tells Cap, like, you know, like, because you're doing all this fighting with him, like, you're not being much help to the team either. And then he, like a teenager, he just gets pissed off and storms off. Whatever. He drops his stuff on the table and just walks off. And nobody sees him again. At least not for right now. And then we cut away and from the Avengers Mansion. We see Hawkeye and Two Gun. He's basically time traveled from the past.
Like a cowboy, right?
Yeah. From the Western times. And they're traveling on a train from Colorado to New York so they can meet back up at the Avengers Mansion. When they're sitting there at a little table on the train, out of nowhere, Two Gun just disappears. Out of nowhere. This man does not have mystical powers. He just disappeared. Meanwhile, a woman shows up at a house, and she wants to talk to the man of the... This is just a random woman. We see a random house. She walks up to it. She says, hey, I want to talk to the man of the house. When a man comes to the door, out of nowhere, this woman turns into Starhawk from the Guardians. And then the man turns into somebody that they call the Cosmic Guardian. They start fighting. They're battling. As they're battling, a rip in time and space happens. And all of a sudden, they start fighting on an astral plane. It's the craziest thing. They're bad. And then as this happens, Doctor Strange is like wherever he's at. He notices that there's now this fight happening. Captain Marvel is out in space. Because he has cosmic awareness, he knows what's going on. Spider-Man's spider senses are fucking going nuts right now. And then the Silver Surfer is out in space as well, and he's feeling that something's going on. None of these people go any further in this story. We don't see any of them ever. And then during this battle, Starhawk ends up getting killed. Then he's brought back to life immediately by this Cosmic Guardian, but he's had his memory of this battle completely erased from his mind. Starhawk doesn't even remember why he fought this person in the first place. He has no awareness of this person. I thought when I was reading this that this was not going to come back at any point, but it does. So just trust me here. Back at the mansion, they decide that the best way to protect Vance Astro, the young Vance Astro, is for Tony Stark to buy a house in his neighborhood. Their plan is for Tony Stark to buy a house in Vance Astro's neighborhood.
Tony, I just think the best thing for you to do for us to save this guy is just for you to buy a house.
Just buy a house. You got to buy a house in his neighborhood. I'm sorry.
There's no houses next to it. Yeah, just buy it down the block.
It's okay as long as it's on the same street. Pay over asking price. We don't care. It'll be okay.
Tony, this is a team effort. We need you to do
Tony,
this.
do you want a child to die? We need you to do this. So
he's like, I'm the only one putting in money here.
Yeah, but you're also not paying us.
So
last week,
what do you want to do?
Last week, Beast had $4 in his piggy bank, and he broke the whole piggy bank for it.
He's like, yeah, now I don't have any money because I had to buy a new piggy bank.
He spent his whole $4 on the piggy bank. Get out of here. So yeah, they convinced Tony to buy a house in the neighborhood, and then they're gonna have the Guardians stay at the house until Korvac shows up, because they know that he's gonna try to kill Vance Astro. And that was 168 for some reason in 169, they completely went off the rail and went on a different story that had nothing to do with any of this. With all of the same Avengers, it had nothing to do with this. They just skipped 169 and went to 170 and went right back to the story. But they told a whole different off-the-wall story in 169. So I didn't even read it. So 170, we see Cap after he stormed off. He's just in the weight room just working out. Because Wanda called him useless. And then Iron Man walks in there and he's like, hey, man, I'm sorry. I apologize for me not being the best leader. And I apologize for Wanda saying what she said. And then the two of them just make up. They're fine now. And then they're best friends again. Hawkeye calls from after he landed, or after his train arrived. He calls and he's like, hey, Two Gun just vanished off of the train. But I thought about it after, and it's like he had to sit on the train after that happened. Like they had just got on the plane or the train, and his partner just vanished, and then he had to sit on the train for like another 12 hours and just wait. There's no cell phones. He just had to wait until he got to New York. So he gets off, he calls, and he's like, hey, Two Gun just vanished. And he says, I'm on my way over there to the mansion. And then across the world, we cut over there, and we see Pietro, Quicksilver. And it's nighttime wherever he is. He's out on his balcony from his room. He's just overlooking the view. And then all of a sudden he vanishes. His wife is just losing her shit right now. Because she was watching him, was like looking at him lovingly, and he just disappeared. Back at the mansion, Janet and Hank show up, Yellow Jacket and the Wasp, with a package. And it's just this big wooden box. And it's a package with Jocasta. And for those of you who don't know who Jocasta is, she was a love interest built by Ultron for himself to have a partner to take over the world with. And he was working on putting Janet's consciousness into Jocasta until he was thwarted and beat. So it never finished. And Hank was the original person who built Ultron, not like Tony in the movies. So the box says Jocasta across it. You can see her face in there, but Hank says that Ultron's gone, so she's not gonna come to life. We're good. But Janet just didn't want it in her house because she could still see her face, and it was freaking her out. So they brought it to the mansion, and once the Avengers make it into the room where Jocasta is, she's come back to life, and she's wrecking everybody in there, just tearing everything apart. Out of nowhere, we find out that Ultron had actually programmed Jocasta with immunity against every Avenger's powers. So everything that they're doing at this point is not stopping her, at all. Out of nowhere, Iron Man shows up and he says, "Hey, no one touch her. No one. Just let her go. Do whatever she wants to do." She stops fighting. She takes off. In her head, she says, "Oh, I need to go find Ultron." And she shouldn't be alive unless Ultron's around. So Iron Man's like, just let her go. What we're going to do is my suit can track her energy spikes, so we'll know wherever she's going. That's not how it works. But everyone's looking at him like, what the fuck? And now they're kind of looking at Cap like, maybe he was right. This guy might not be the best leader. And he says, just let her go. We'll find her. And that was 170. Avengers 171, they immediately lose her. His whole idea was that my suit can track her.
My suit is so advanced, it can track her.
Yeah. It's literally turning from one page to another. They lose her immediately.
It's like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where it's like yeah, my suit can track her. Jocasta, she can't get away. And then it's like the gang loses Jocasta.
It's exactly that. So while they're searching for Jocasta, out of nowhere, Carol Danvers, Ms. Marvel, she shows up to help. I'm assuming that they don't say this, but she kind of could sense that they needed help. So she's helping them try to find her. They finally find Jocasta at a convent across town, which is basically like a church type building. And the writers have now called, this is like a side thing, but at this point, the writers of these stories have called Jocasta Iron Puss and Chrome Puss. And we're 4 issues into this. So at this point, I'm thinking, what else can you guys call her?
I know it's not inappropriate, but it sounds inappropriate.
It sounds inappropriate.
And I'm surprised that they didn't edit that out when they put this on the app.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was like, wait, what? I saw Iron Puss, and I was like,
Chrome Puss.
This is for kids? It's like, somebody missed something here. So when the Avengers reach the front door of the convent, a nun answers and she says, "Oh, please come in, look for whatever it is you're looking for. By all means, do your thing." A short walk in, the nun just vanishes out of nowhere, and then Wanda also vanishes. The rest of them start hearing noises behind some door that they're looking at, and they find Ultron sitting there behind the desk, just just relaxing. And he says, "Oh, my plan is the same as it always is." And he's looking straight at Hank. He's like, "Don't worry, Dad. My plan's always going to be the same." He's like, "I want you dead. And I want your wife." But he's still calling this guy Dad. And he's like, "Oh, I want your wife. And then I'm going to take over the world." And then Ultron shoots to kill Hank. But it doesn't work because when they last met, Hank gave... Hank gave all the Avengers immunity powers against anything that Ultron could do. So sorry, not anything that Ultron could do, but he gave them immunity against Ultron's strongest weapons, but not all of his weapons. So we cut to Wanda now being stuck in like this prison type cell thing. It's like a prison of mirrors. You remember in Far From Home when Mysterio kind of throws Peter into that like mirror kind of dimension. It looked like that. So she's unsure of where she is, and Miss Marvel is now walking around the convent trying to find her because she thinks that she could just be somewhere in the house. And the rest of them are now trapped in a force field that Ultron put them in, and they can't get out. So now it's just Miss Marvel going around this convent trying to find Wanda. And Ultron takes off, and he's going to go try to find Jocasta because he knows that she's somewhere there. When he gets to where Jocasta is, she wakes up and immediately starts attacking him and says, "Oh, you're evil, and I can't live with that. I just want you dead." And this is Jocasta saying this to Ultron. And then meanwhile, Wanda made it out of the mirror dimension, and she walks in and she's like, "Oh, you're in big trouble, mister." This is a killer robot, Wanda. You gotta read the room here.
"Hey, mister, you've been bad."
"Hey, mister, why'd you do that?" She sounds like Michelle Tanner. "You're in big trouble, mister." And then she uses her hex powers to completely destroy Ultron. And then while he's being destroyed, he cries out for his mom. He's like, "Mom, I need you." And I'm dead serious. So yeah, at this point, they all think they won. Granted, a lot of your Avengers are... Like, people are going missing now. You haven't figured this out. But they think they won, and then out of nowhere, Jocasta vanishes. And so does Captain America. So now we're really getting down to...
Getting picked off like flies.
Yeah. And that was 171. We're at 172. Hawkeye finally makes it to the mansion. So I don't know where his train landed. But it wasn't anywhere close to New York. And then when he gets there, he's searching through the mansion. And when he gets there, he leaves the front door wide open. Not a good thing.
This is what that guy was talking about.
Yeah. He just walks in, leaves the front door wide open. And then who shows up? Special Agent Gyrick.
He pulls a gun on him. He's like, I told you guys, this is your lesson.
And so Gyrick shows up and he's thinking, I just left here and told you guys that you guys do this stuff. You guys keep leaving doors open and allowing random people to walk in here. And then when the rest of the team finally shows up, they're excited. They're like, oh, Hawkeye, oh, finally, glad to see you. Until he explains that he has somebody tied up in the basement. And the guy keeps saying that he's a special agent, but he thought he was a thief. And he's like, I don't know which way this is supposed to go. And they all freak out. They're like, oh, shit. So they run down there. They go. And then they open up the door and they see that it's Gyrick. And they're like, oh, this isn't going to be good. So, of course, Gyrick is pissed. So what he ends up doing is he revokes the Avengers' priority status. So now they can't fly the Quinjet without approval from the government. And they can't use their comms. Like, at all.
What does that have to do with the government?
I don't know. So and then what happens is they try calling, knowing that this is illegal at this point, they try using like a back way to call Nick from S.H.I.E.L.D. and say, hey, you got to help us out. Like, they took all of our communication, all that stuff. We're not supposed to use the comms. And then Nick was like, the government said you can't use it, buddy. I can't help you. And then hangs up on them. Like, this is S.H.I.E.L.D. This is not the S.H.I.E.L.D. from the movies, guys.
Not my jurisdiction, not my problem. Beep.
Beep. See you later. So, yeah, they can't use any of that stuff.
After they took the time to fly up to space to help them.
Yeah.
He just like...
The day before.
Nah.
Sorry, guys.
Sorry, can't do anything.
Can't help you here.
I don't have any space tech on this spaceship.
Never mind the fact that I'm talking to you over video from space.
Don't mind my hovering chair, all right? It's just... It came half off with the spaceship. I buy one spaceship and get the chair half off.
So, yeah. So, of course, Gyrick was pissed off. He took all of their stuff. And then Wanda, being the criminal as she is, immediately starts using the comms. And then finds out that her brother Pietro vanished, as well as gaining the knowledge that Tyrak from the Doctor Doom story, the Private War of Doctor Doom, Tyrak, the guy with the gold chains and the sunglasses, along with learning that her brother is now missing, she also receives the information that Tyrak is in the harbor down the street. And he's ready to attack New York and take it over. So Iron Man, again, splits up the team. Vision, Wanda, Miss Marvel, Hawkeye, and Wonder Man go off to battle Tyrak. Hank and Janet are on duty to call every Avenger that there has ever been and see if they can come help out with this. And then Thor and Beast stay back just in case anything happens at the mansion. And then Iron Man goes off to his lab. When the first team arrives, Ms. Marvel just gets straight to it with Tyrak. Just goes straight in. She Hawkeye had to ride in on her back. And when they get there, she just drops him. And then he lands in the water. And then she just goes straight to fighting Tyrak. And yes, like I said, Tyrak is still wearing his gold chain and sunglasses during this whole fight. But Miss Marvel, Hawkeye, and Vision all damn near get murdered in like a minute. It's very quick. But Wonder Man and Miss Marvel start trying again. And then he double chokes out both of them. He gets both of them right on his chest. So you remember Friday After Next. Mm-hmm. When Damon sees both Craig and Day-Day and he just grabs them both and puts them on his chest. That's how Tyrak chokes out the both of them. And they're seconds from dying at this point. Wanda comes in for the save using her hex powers again. And then Vision finally comes in for some help. So at this point, gathering themselves to go back to the mansion, Ms. Marvel says, hey, I'm going home. I'm not even a part of this team, really. I need some rest. And then out of nowhere, Vision vanishes. So now there's another Avenger gone.
You know, I know Vision doesn't want to kill,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like since he can phase through things,
He could kill
all he has to
everybody he
do is
fights.
just phase into somebody and then turn solid.
Yeah, that's it. And you would stop all these problems so quickly.
I'm pretty sure there's some villains that just deserve that. Like
A lot of them.
there's no point in you just stopping them.
No. Like, why do you continue to let these people live, especially when you're not going to put them in jail?
Yeah.
Tyrak, you guys could have killed 5 years prior to this or whatever.
I'm pretty sure the government's not going to arrest you for murdering this creature.
That sea creature? You killed an animal, like some animal? You know damn well the government doesn't see that as a person. Just do what you got to do. Kill it.
Yeah, you're not losing any public sympathy by doing that.
And you're a robot.
Yeah.
No one cares. So many of these people could kill people. Wonder Man could do the same thing.
I mean, honestly, they could all kill people.
Yeah. It might be a slippery road, though.
Yeah.
Like, Vision starts killing people, and he does it once, and all of a sudden it's just like, just kill him.
Wait, I'll do it.
Vision vanished. So back at the mansion, Iron Man is just going crazy trying to figure out what the hell is going on here. Why are these people vanishing? Janet comes in and says Beast took off with the Quinjet, which is also illegal.
I know. I was like, this guy says not to use any of this stuff, and they're just
keep using it. So he took off with the Quinjet after receiving a call from somebody. Nobody knows. And then Thor is uptown fighting some giant with Hercules.
I really do feel like they're teenagers.
Yeah.
They're doing things
they don't listen.
Yeah, they're doing things that they were told not to do.
Yeah.
Thor and Hercules are just out there doing sports and shit, not caring what's really going on.
And just in the private war of Dr. Doom, the Fantastic Four was like, oh, the government said we can't do it. Gotta go home. Leave Doom here. I can't do anything about it. And then these
they're
guys
the nerds.
These guys are like, well, they took our comms. And they said we can't fly the Quinjet. I'm going to take it. Like, what's the worst that's going to happen? So, actually, Thor is uptown fighting the giant by himself. But Hercules, Black Panther, and the Wizard are on their way to the mansion now.
The Wizard?
Yeah.
He should just retire.
Trust me, he's there. And mind you, this Beast took off in the Quinjet. In this story, this is quite literally the last time we see Beast. We don't ever hear from him again in this. So that was 172, 173. Hercules and Black Widow show up at LaGuardia by plane, and from there they just start racing to Avengers Mansion. They don't get in a car. They don't nothing. They just run to Avengers Mansion.
From LaGuardia?
Yeah, I don't know how far that is, but I can't imagine it's close.
I think that when I went to New York, I think that's where I flew into,
I'm sure.
Then just to get to the city was at least, I want to say maybe like 30 minutes.
Yeah, and these two dummies ran there.
Even at maybe like a 5-minute mile.
Oh yeah, and that's what happened too, is because when they got to the airport, they thought that they were gonna have a car waiting for them. And then because Gyrick took everything from the Avengers, the guy at the car was like, well, no, this isn't for you guys. You guys can't use this stuff anymore. And they're both
but he's there.
Yeah. So they were like, but what do you mean? And then they just had to run there.
They didn't give me another name to pick up, but I can't pick you up. So I'm just going to wait here.
So they ran over there. And then we cut to that man from earlier that changed his form into the Cosmic Guardian. And now he's looking over because he has the cosmic power, he's looking over the Guardians while they watch young Vance Astro. So he's basically just like an eye in the sky, watching over them. And he says that they don't even realize that they're working under his control, meaning that they're doing everything that he wants them to do. And he says he's so powerful. He can even see that the Watcher is watching him. That's how powerful this man is. But his bigger focus is set on eternity. So this man is on Earth watching eternity.
Yeah, and who is this guy?
You'll never believe it. And And his whole goal at this point is actually not to. I won't say that. His plan is that he wants to take Eternity's place. He wants to somehow kill Eternity and take its place. His place.
Its place.
Its place. Their place.
Their place.
Back at Avengers Mansion, Thor walks in and Wonder Man says, "Hey, like, I'm eating lunch. Do you want half of the sandwich?" And Thor says, "No, thanks. I don't take food from strangers." And they know each other. They were just fighting next to each other recently, but Thor has no idea who Wonder Man is. Literally has no idea who this man is.
So he doesn't take the sandwich because he doesn't know who he is, but also doesn't. He's in the same house as you.
Yeah, he's just chilling at the place that you call home.
You're okay with that, but
he was just talking to Jarvis when you walked in.
You're not okay taking the sandwich.
Yeah. What do you like? What do you think this is? So
that's says, like me coming home and then it's like me coming home and then you're there, and then your friend is there and your friend is just like, "Hey, I have an extra sandwich. Like, you want some?" And it's like,
no, I've never seen you before. I don't take food from strangers, buddy. Sorry. So he said, "I'm not taking the food from strangers." Wonder Man is thoroughly confused at this point, because they've been working together for the last couple of days, like side by side. At a different part of the mansion, Hank, Black Panther, Wanda, and Wonder Man all vanish. All vanish. And then finally, Captain America and Iron Man say, "We got to figure something out." So Captain America says, "Hey, why don't we call Vance Astro up on the spaceship?" Again, they have to use the comms for this. Because his tech is 1,000 years more advanced than ours. So he would probably have some way of figuring this out. And Iron Man says, "Yeah, why not?" They get a hold of him, and he says, "Hey, we can't figure out where all these people are being blipped to. We need your help." And then he says, "Okay, hold on, let me check." And then he immediately finds where the energy is coming from. All this energy is coming from like a space on Earth that's only like 3 cubic feet wide. So they're like, that doesn't make sense, but okay, send us there. Like, we got to find our friends. So he's like, "All right, I'll teleport you guys over there." So he teleports them over there. After being teleported, they run and they're in this big ass building. It's not 3 cubic feet. So they start running towards wherever they hear noise inside the building. The only team that is there now is Iron Man, Wasp, Thor, and Hawkeye. I just said that Captain America told Iron Man to do that, but I was wrong. I wasn't paying attention. So it's just the 4 of them now. All of them are ready to kill whoever it is that's taking all of their friends. And all of a sudden we see who this person is that's been vanishing all of their friends. It's the Collector.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Now the Collector has this big smile on his face. Because he's like, "I only needed 4 more for my collection. And now all of you guys are here. You just made this a hell of a lot easier. Trap. My collection is going to be complete in like 2 seconds." And that was the end of 173. 174, these guys aren't being collected without a fight. They're not going to just walk over there. Iron Man flies through a wall. Thor's hammer. Sorry, Iron Man gets punched through a wall.
Okay, I was like, why is he flying through a wall?
Thor's hammer gets stuck in between this dimension and a different one. And he can't get the hammer or his hand off of the hammer. So now he's stuck just like that. And Iron Man's armor ends up getting frozen in place after the punch. So now he's just a stiff piece of metal. Janet gets trapped by a net. And now the only Avenger left is literally Hawkeye. And he's doing everything he possibly can to not get caught. Hawkeye starts... he starts to get the upper hand. But all he has is 1 arrow left. Again, I feel like we've talked about this before, but he does not come prepared. But with his luck, he ends up hitting it's an electric arrow, and he ends up hitting the Collector with that with said arrow, and it finally gets the Collector down on the ground. You would think that everything's good. Hawkeye cuffs him, and he goes to save the rest of his friends.
It's placing you under citizen's arrest, eternal being.
So he doesn't have enough arrows, but he has handcuffs in his back pocket. So, yeah, he handcuffs him, and then he goes to save the rest of his friends. We cut over to where the Cosmic Guardian is, and he's now realizing that he doesn't have all the control that he thought he did. The Collector has been playing him the whole time.
Dun, dun, dun.
So, there's so many levels here. And then, but seconds later, back at the Collector's place, the Collector gets blasted to ashes from Earth by the Cosmic Guardian. So the Cosmic Guardian just realized that the Collector was playing him, and he got pissed off all the way on Earth, and then shot some kind of ray and turned the Collector to dust. Dust. And that was 174. At 175, the Avengers are lost for words at this point. They just saw the Collector get blasted to dust, and none of them did it. So they're like, okay, everybody was vanishing. We caught the guy that was blipping all of us, and now he gets blown to pieces and just ashes. So now they're searching through the Collector's place for a way to get back home, and Iron Man finds a time machine. And then as soon as he finds the time machine, immediately Two Gun is like, hey, can you guys just send me back to where I came from? Because I don't think that this is for me. I carry 2 pistols on me.
You guys are fighting eternal beings, and I got 2 guns?
This man got blasted to ashes, and none of us did it. I'm with the strongest people on Earth right now.
Give me the machine. I'll send myself back. Please, I just don't want to be here anymore. I'm not prepared.
So he's like, just send me back to where I came from. Everybody's like, oh, no, don't do that. Like, what do you mean? And then he's like, guys, I have to do this. And then they just like, all right, whatever. Send him back.
Respect my wishes, damn it.
I don't want to die with you guys. This is not what I signed up for.
I just want to go stop some local criminals. So I didn't know China was a place before I got here.
So they send Two Gun back, and then Vision is like, yeah, whatever, let him go. We got to get the hell out of here. So I don't know where they go, but they go. They bounce out. And then the problem is that they can't pinpoint an exact location of where the time machine sends them back to their time. So they can't say take me back to our time at this location. So it sends them all back, but it sends them all back to like random places around New York. So Wonder Man gets tossed back, and as soon as he hits the ground, there's a bus coming at him. Wanda is literally falling from the sky, and she has no way of stopping herself. They're just all getting tossed in like random places, right? So then we cut back to the Cosmic Guardian, and he's just sitting around thinking back on like how did I get where I am? He's having like this deep introspective like thought with himself. Then this is where we find out that the Cosmic Guardian is actually Korvac, the Machine Man. He's called Korvac the Machine Man way, way into the future. The planet that he was living on, he got in some trouble up there. They turned this man into a living computer after he got into trouble. He was a living computer. And then have you looked up what he looked like?
He's a
man.
On like a little saucer thing, right?
Yeah, it looks like just his whole abdomen is just a computer. It's the weirdest thing. I understand why comics were kind of falling out at one point. Yeah, so he's sitting around thinking back on how he got to be where he is. We find out that he was actually Korvac, who was turned into a living computer in his time in the future, and had some of his strongest conquests thwarted by Thor, the Guardians, many other people. After running away through time, he found himself at the home base of Galactus, and then ended up plugging himself into Galactus's computers. And then he gained enough power and knowledge to become a god and lose his computer body. And then he thought, if I just stayed, now that I'm a god, if I just stay under the radar, I can slowly make changes to things around me, and I won't be noticed by any other godlike beings. And then I can just do what I want. So he went back to present-day Earth to live as a human. His actual plan was never to kill Vance Astro. It was only to just live
as a human.
As a human, and I guess as a god at the same time. So then we cut back to the Avengers mansion, and they're still stuck trying to figure out what the hell is going on. Because they're even more confused than they were before. Iron Man decides to call upon the Guardians for help. And if you guys were wondering, yes, the Guardians are still living at that house.
They haven't done much since they've moved in.
No, they haven't done anything since they moved in. They saved, at one point, Charlie 27 saved Vance from getting hit by a bus. And that was the only thing they ever showed us. So yes, they're still living at the house. And Iron Man says, we got to call them up because we're going to need some help here. And they're from space. They can probably help us find some people here. And Starhawk, Iron Man calls. Starhawk decides that he's going to go over to help. He tells the rest of the Guardians, stay at the house. Just keep watching Vance. And the Guardians still aren't aware that Korvac has control over all of their moves. Korvac, the Cosmic Guardian, same person. So yeah, we're at 176. Starhawk asks for an explanation from Iron Man about what's happened so far. What the hell's going on? And Iron Man says everyone with psychic abilities is trying to locate the person that we're looking for, but nobody can find him. All of a sudden, Moondragon is here. I literally don't know when she showed up. She's just in this issue. But she shows it. Literally, Moondragon just shows up out of nowhere. And it wasn't like she blipped in. They just made it seem like she was always here. So Moondragon believes that she has an idea. So she summons everyone back to the mansion. They're trying to piece together the clues. And miles away from wherever they're at, Korvac is starting to sweat a little bit because he knows that the Avengers are starting to understand what's going on here. The Avengers finally figure out that all the energy used to blip them away and kill the Collector was emanating from this place called Forest Hills Garden, some city in upstate New York, which is pretty far from where they are. And since they have no access to the Quinjet anymore, they all have to commandeer an MTA bus.
What a downgrade.
So they literally run outside of the Avengers mansion. A bus pulls up just because it's stopped at a red light. Iron Man gets on and he says, hey, we're going to need this bus. The guy's like, well, if you guys have fare, you can get on. He's like, get off the bus.
Let's just imagine this play out in live action. I'm imagining a camera. The camera is inside the bus. Yeah. And then you see this group of just costumed people just run into the street.
No, they're literally standing on the street at this point.
And then the bus stops.
The bus stops.
And Iron Man walks into the bus and says, I need this bus.
And the guy's like, well, the fare thing is right here, so drop your fare in. And then he's like, get off the bus.
I need this bus.
And then he makes everybody get off of the bus. The people are going out the back door. The driver is just sitting there like, what the hell is going on? All these costumed Avengers are now on this bus.
Taking people's seats.
Including the people that can fly. Iron Man can fly. Vision can fly. They get on the bus. They sit down. Captain America is the last one on the bus.
Captain America's helping an old woman off the bus.
Yeah, and then he's the last one on the bus, and then he goes to the driver. He's like, "I'm sorry, we had to do this." He looks. The driver gets off the bus. Captain America pops his head out, and he's like, "Just so you guys know, we have cabs coming to get you guys." and then Tony Stark's gonna pay for all of it. Why did you guys just get a cab? Well, why?
If you have Tony Stark have his drivers come pick you guys up.
Like they didn't take Tony Stark's money. He's still paying rent on the house that has the Guardians inside. He could have just got cars. He could have got limos for you guys.
There's people going to work to feed their kids.
Yeah.
That bus driver is just trying to live his life. He probably doesn't want to drive that bus.
I'm guaranteed one of those people that had to get off the bus lost their job that day. And guess what? If Iron Man makes me lose my job, guess who's sitting outside of Tony Stark Tower? And I'm gonna sit there and wait for him.
Y'all hire?
I'm gonna call like that the doctor in the last episode. Like, are you guys hiring? Okay, I'll be there. I would have been pissed.
All right, ma'am, you need to get off the bus now.
Okay, ma'am. I'm so sorry we had to do this to you, but this is your stop. Oh, my house isn't for another 4 stops.
Yeah, I mean, how many people are there? How many heroes are there?
There's a lot. We got Cap, Iron Man, Vision, Wanda, Thor, Hercules, Black Widow, Black Panther, and Wonder Man.
Wonder Man can fly, right?
Yeah.
Wonder Man, Thor, Vision.
Mm-hmm. Iron Man,
so that's 5.
Mm-hmm. Can fly.
That's a taxi, maybe 2. That's a limo. There, get a limo.
Yeah. You get a limo. I mean, granted, Hercules and Thor are kind of big. Not all you guys need to ride into this thing. A lot of you guys, like, damn near half of you guys can fly. So, yeah, you guys messed up. You guys messed up a lot of people's days. So, yeah, they take the bus. They head out to upstate New York. And then when they get there, they knock on the door of Korvac, or as his neighbors know him, Michael. They knock on the door. He answers. And they say, hey, we need to check out your house for something.
Costume superheroes roll up in a bus and then go to your house and say, I need to check something.
This is like a gated community. Michael's living nice up here. And they just knock on the door and say, hey, we need to check your house for something. And he's like, yeah, go for it. And then Wasp and Yellow Jacket shrink down and start flying around the house. They don't find anything. Moondragon, Captain Marvel, and Jocasta are also there. They don't sense anything. Starhawk steps up and he says, listen, guys, I'm sick of the games that you guys are playing. No, like, for the last 10 minutes that we've been at this guy's house, you guys keep acting like you're talking to somebody, and there's nobody here. So they're all looking at him. What the hell is this guy talking about? Like, is he losing his mind? That's when we realize that Michael was the Cosmic Guardian. Korvac was the Cosmic Guardian. When he had that fight with Starhawk, he completely wiped himself from even being known.
Like acknowledged.
So he literally does not even see that Korvac is standing right in front of him.
Wow. He
has all of the Guardians are here. I'm sorry, the Guardians aren't there yet, but all these Avengers are literally just like, what the hell is this guy talking about? We've been talking to him for the last 10 minutes. So now we start to see that Korvac's like really sweating at this point. And now the rest of the team is starting to understand what's going on. Korvac just gives up the whole thing at that point. And he lets the others know, I was here to save you guys. He's just making up some story at this point. He's like, I was here to save you guys, but now that the jig is up, all the other gods in the universe are going to know that I'm here. And they're going to be coming for me. And since they'll be coming for me, I'm going to kill you guys. And that was 176. 177, the last issue. Korvac is completely pissed at this point because literally everyone in the universe is watching him. We see Heimdall watching him. The Watcher, Eternities now has his full attention on Korvac. Mephisto, Odin, Zeus, and that's just naming just a few of the people that we see watching him. In the midst of all this, Moondragon sends out a signal to the rest of the Guardians to come help. They get there to help, and Korvac says, "Oh, big deal. No one cares." And then he shows, he basically just puts up he projects this big screen above everybody so they can see. And he says, "Oh, big deal. The rest of the Guardians are here. Watch this." He pulls up the ship that Vance Astro is on right now, and he says, "Watch this." Bam. Shoot. Just completely blows up the ship and kills Vance Astro right there. That was it. So he clearly doesn't give a shit that the Guardians. But now that the Guardians have seen their leader just blow to pieces, Nikki from the Guardians, she jumps at Korvac, stunning him for a second before he kills her too. Quicksilver tries to attack him from behind. He's killed.
Are they just like dead on the ground, or they're vaporized, or like
they're dead on the ground?
Oh, okay.
But actually dead. He's basically stomping everybody that's coming at him and killing them.
What issue? This is
177.
I wanna see this.
So yeah, they're trying to hold him off. Michael was living with his girlfriend, Karina. I didn't get into this before, but Karina is the Collector's daughter.
Oh, from like the movie.
Yeah. So Michael is living in this house with his girlfriend Karina, and they've figured out that Karina is his only weak spot. He's basically just living his life to be
and
happy.
She's just a normal person.
She has powers just like the Collector does, but she's been playing him too. So they take her hostage. He gets even more pissed off. He kills Yellow Jacket, Martin X, Captain Marvel, Black Panther, all dead. Even Jocasta gets killed. And now Korvac, thinking that everyone is either passed out or dead at this point, he at this point, when he was killing everybody, he was in like a godlike form. He was huge, big, killing everybody. At this point, thinking that he's got everything handled, he goes back to his human form, not realizing that Captain America has come back to play at this point. And then Cap starts beating his ass. But that also doesn't last long because he throws Captain America through multiple walls in the house and then kills him. Wonder Man comes back and says, "Okay, this is my chance. This moment is why I came back to life, to kill this guy." He says, "I came back from the dead to save the universe, and this is my chance." He's getting his hits in, and then he dies. Again. And now the only ones left to fight now are Iron Man, Thor, Starhawk, Vision, and Moondragon. They're doing their thing. They're getting some hits in. Korvac looks to his girlfriend and sees that she's just watching him and all of this. She has the power to help. But she's literally just watching as all this stuff is happening to him. And then out of nowhere, Korvac just passes out and dies. And then now it's Karina's turn to use her power cosmic, and now she's beating everybody's ass. Because she just saw her boyfriend die. And then while standing face to face with Thor, Karina strikes. Her and Thor are just striking each other back and forth. Out of nowhere, she just stops fighting, and then Mjolnir strikes her in the head. And I don't think it hit her in the head, but it hits her pretty bad, and she dies. So now, for some reason, Moondragon's just off in the corner crying. And then she says that she searched Korvac's mind and saw that he never actually wanted to hurt any of them. He wanted to save them from living under the thumbs of eternity this whole time.
Wow.
So with his last breath, Korvac decided that the Avengers and the Guardians he killed died for no reason, so he brought them all back to life. And then, but some of them need doctors. They need help. They need medical help. So Moondragon tells Thor, "Hey, switch back to your Donald Blake persona and help these people because they need your help. Otherwise, they really will die." So he does that. He goes off to help, and then Moondragon sets a spell over all of them, so that they won't remember that they killed an innocent man, only that they triumphed against evil once again.
Wow.
And that was it.
So they ended up just
killing an innocent man.
They forget about it and get to live their lives.
Yes, they just went in guns blazing. He wasn't even blipping anybody away.
He was all a collector.
Because the collector was trying to play him the whole time.
Damn.
I liked it.
I liked it.
Lot. It was a lot of like crazy, like stupid stuff. But I liked it.
From the description you gave, I thought it was going to be like a more like, I don't know if so far like a lot of the space stuff that we read, I haven't really, it's just kind of boring because it's so like 1970s, 80s space stuff, you know, where it's just like, I'm on a ship now and it's just boring. Yeah. So I thought it was going to be that, but with it being more of an Avengers focused book and not too much Guardian stuff, like I liked it.
I thought because there was so many characters in it, when I started it, I was like, oh, this is going to get way too deep into the woods and I'm going to lose myself halfway through this. And then, the Guardians were there for like the first couple issues. I think it might have only been like the first one. And then they come back in like the second one and they're sprinkled in through the middle. A lot of random deaths and just random shit happening. It was cool.
Would you give it the stamp of approval?
Another house blown, baby. Done. Stamp of approval for me. I liked it.
I would give the stamp of approval.
2 houses.
So far, if you're keeping track, we've destroyed 5 houses.
Yeah.
We've only had this for 2 episodes and we destroyed 5 houses.
There's only 2 of us on this show. And somehow in 2 weeks we've blown up 5 houses with these stamps of approval. Man, it's fun. I'm going to go for 6.
Might as well make it an even number.
Why not? But, yeah, it was good. And we are inching so very closely to the 80s now. And I am super excited.
What's our next?
The next ones that we have are... Let me pull it up real quick. Sorry, I was not prepared. So next week we got the Dark Phoenix Saga.
What? Already?
Yep. Actually, this episode is our last one in the 70s. We hit 1980 next week.
Nice.
So we got the Dark Phoenix Saga, and then guess what we got after that?
Secret Wars.
Nope.
Okay.
That's not until... I don't think... That's not until like April. Okay. After Dark Phoenix Saga, we got Days of Future Past. Which is a short one. I think it's only like 2 or 3 issues, but...
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We're in the 80s now, guys.
Nice. We have some good stuff coming.
Yeah.
Classics.
As always, we're thinking of things to add and thinking of ways to incorporate some more stuff. Is that the word? Incorporate more stuff into the show if we can. We're not going to force it. But if we find something to add to it, we will. If we find something to change, take out, we will.
Took us a whole season to add the stamp of approval button.
And I swear, now that it's here, I'm just tempted to keep pushing it. Next week I'm gonna add an explosion.
Weren't you just saying how it would be a slippery slope if Vision started killing people, and now you're just blowing up houses?
Man, I tell you see how quick it happens? And I'm not even a good person. But yeah, we're in the 80s now, so we're really kicking up, and we're going to be in the 80s for surprisingly not that long. Half the year or so, but we're getting there. We got some more crossovers coming up. We got some specials for the shows coming up. Moon Knight specifically. Just hang in there, guys. These seem like they're getting better and better as we go. So,
and we're getting better and better.
We're taking in constructive criticism from wherever it comes.
Send us your criticism.
Yeah, don't be mean about it, though.
Criticisms.
Yeah, don't be mean. If you want to be mean, go to his show and talk to them.
Don't be mean to me on the show. I can't take it. I'm a sensitive guy.
That's why I don't want it. Just be nice if you're going to send constructive criticism. It's not hard. All right, guys. This has been another episode of Webheads, Volume 2. We're back and better than ever, just like I say every week. But it's true. Well, thanks for listening.
This is the best version of the show that we've done so far.
Yeah.
Every week is the best version because it's always better than the last.
Oh, real quick shout out to everybody who's been listening. We just hit 850 listens over 26 episodes.
Nice.
So thanks for listening, guys. Keep sharing it with your friends and family. If you don't like your kids listening to cuss words and those kids.
Grow up a pair.
Tell your kids to get over it.
They're saying way worse stuff at school.
Yeah, you know what?
We're playing.
That's for your kid. And this was for you. Now we're at 8.
At the end of the season, we got to count how many houses we've blown up.
Yeah, I'm going to keep a tally going. Just so we know for sure.
I think whoever sold you that button told you it's a stamp of approval button, but it's really just it's connected to a detonator.
Yeah,
somewhere.
2 seconds ago I just said I'm going to add an explosion button. Like that's not what I've been pushing this all time. I might have mislabeled my sound effects on the computer. Yeah, you kids can't listen to cuss words. That's on you. You handle it.
Yeah.
If they can't listen to that, if they can't listen to cuss words and still not say it in front of you, I'm not going to tell you how to parent.
I will.
Yeah.
Do better. He
said
it. All right, bruvs.
All right. I'll catch you later, bruv. You guys will hear us next week, as long as this didn't piss you off. And as long as we don't make you watch a movie to follow along with us next week.
Hey.
You'll be back.
Watch the shots.
And no, I have more shots to throw, but I'll leave it.
We already said bye. You can't keep adding stuff.
Okay, bye guys.